Welcome back, everyone. I know all of you have already done answering the quarter 1 week dash 1 capslet. Today, what I will discuss you is to how to evaluate a function. We know from the very beginning that functions have no two ordered pairs that have the same first component. In short, the elements in the domain should never repeat, or else it will not be a function. Let us relate function to a product innovation. Simply, the quality of the product depends on the material used, which is the input, how the process is being done. Just think about the machinery and the worker who work in a factory. If they work legibly or on time, or if not, well, you expect low quality output. I will show you a video how copy shell used to make an export quality product that is simply the signature product of the Philippines.
I'm Gichun Robles.
I'm Petrobles. Together, we work in a company producing copies.
Capis is a bivalve consisting of thin, translucent, concave, and flat layers. It's usually found or growing well in areas where the salt water and the fresh water meet.
Copies is harvested by diving up to 10 fathoms under the sea. Once copies is harvested, it is made to dry to open. It is then washed and cleaned of its impurities. Then, it is cut into its desired shapes according to its final use.
I'm Alice Carion. I work here at San Nicolas on Iloilo, where the factory is located. If we have abundance of work here, we send it out so that families living outside can take care of their families.
We started as a small company. We now employ several hundred people. We hope that our business will grow more so that we'll be able to sustain the livelihood trainings that we've been doing for the women folk in the communities.
Now, let us visualize this in big picture to how coffee's product is being manufactured and why it is related to function. You notice that function is a relation in which each input, like the production of coffee shell, is important to supply the demand of the customer. Full quality or less quantity of coffee shell produced, which is your input, depends on the number of customer or buyer, which is your output. On the other hand, well-compensated worker, which is your input, depends on the quality and quantity of the finished product, which is your output, of copy shell given the specified due date, etc. Product innovation comes in if the owner or entrepreneur thinks outside the box to make this output more usable or helpful in the lives of people. So you see how important is function to see things in big picture, in improving your product or services that is either new or an improved version of previous goods or services. So function is a relation between input and output. Now, let us see the big picture by using an equation to evaluate the function. We have here f of x equals 2x plus 3 for x equals 4. 4 here is the input. What will be the function of f of x value if x equals 4? Okay, just replace the variable x with 4 in the function f of x equals to 2x plus 3. We have now f of 4 equals 2 times 4 plus 3. Simplify the expression. That will give you f of 4 equals 8 plus 3. Now, you sum up 8 plus 3, that will give you 11. So therefore, you can express it this way or this way. Okay, did you understand? Now, let us try another example. Let us evaluate the function h of x equals x squared plus 3 for x equals negative 2. Negative 2 here is the input of the function h of x equals x squared plus 3. That will give you h of negative 2 equals, often in close parentheses, negative 2 squared plus 3. What if you forget to put a parenthesis? What will happen? You see, negative 2 squared plus 3, the negative 2 squared will give you negative 4. And negative 4 plus 3, that will give you negative 1. And that will make a wrong equation. It should have parentheses so that it will give you a value of 4. So next, sum up 4 plus 3, that will give you 7. There's another misconception that most of the students make. Look, say for example, the function of a plus b quantity is not the same as the function of a plus the function of b. Why? Look, are they the same? They are very different. Now, let us try evaluating function using graphs. In the first two examples, we use an equation, but this third example, we will use graph. You will ask the question, how can we evaluate a function using graphs? Okay, let's say for example, given f of negative 2, f of 2, f of negative 3, and f of 1. Remember, f of x is equals to y. Means to say, the value of the function of x will give you the value of y. And you can arrange it this way. X, comma, f of x, or x, comma, the value of y. They are just the same. Okay, let us first find or evaluate the function of f negative 2. Looking at the graph, negative 2 here is the value of x. Okay, when you draw an arrow from the x-axis going up, touching the curve, and it stopped at the level of 3 in the y-axis. So therefore, 3, the function of negative 2 is equals to 3. And the coordinates is your x is negative 2, your y is 3. How about the function of positive 2? Positive 2 is in the x-axis. Look, draw an arrow going towards the curve, downward. And look on the y-axis. That is exactly in negative 4. So therefore, the function of positive 2 is equals to negative 4. And the coordinates is positive 2, comma, negative 4. Let us try the third example. Evaluate the function of negative 3. So again, your negative 3 here is in the x-axis. Okay? Draw an arrow going towards the curve line. And where it will stop at 2 in the y-axis. So therefore, the function of negative 3 is 2. And the coordinates are x is negative 3 and your f of x is positive 2. And the last one, let us find f of 1. 1 is in the x-axis and going towards the curve, touching the curve at negative 3 in the y-axis. So therefore, the coordinates is your x is 1 and your y is negative 3. So this is how you evaluate function using graphs. Always remember that a function is a relation between the input and the output, which is your x and your y. The output always rely on the input. Second, to evaluate a function using equation, always remember to substitute the value of the given x and solve the expression. And lastly, to evaluate a function using a graph, first you need to identify the x value in the given function. Then look the x value in the x-axis. Draw a line touching the line of the curve and connect a line to what particular unit in the y-axis it reaches. That is the function values of x, or the y values. You may now answer the General Mathematics Quarter 1, Week 1-2 capslet. And see you next on the next module. Have a good day to everyone.